FMI Total Access is brought to you in part by 1010 Data, enabling item-level insights using a big data analytical solution.
Welcome to FMI 2012 and Supermarket News Total Access Video. I'm David Orgel from Supermarket News, and it is my pleasure to have Fred Morganthall, who is President and COO of Harris Teeter, and very importantly, Chairman of FMI. And Fred, thanks so much for joining us. I know it's an incredibly busy show for you. You're at the halfway mark now of your 2-year tenure. That's got to be a milestone. What's your thoughts at this point in terms of the progress and how things have been going?
I think Leslie Saracen and her staff have done a very fine job this year in trying to implement some of the things that our members, our board, have really been trying to achieve. We believe strongly that we need to have more meetings with more trade associations involved, where we can really walk the aisles with our associates, see new ideas, see refrigeration cases, see produce products, and make decisions at the time that we're here versus going to 3 different shows and trying to learn from each other after we get back home. So I think the staff has done a great job. We really appreciate American Meat Institute and the produce folks meeting with us, and we're looking forward to a successful show.
Well, that's great. That gets to the whole area of collaboration and associations sharing best practices and all. So that's fantastic. Now, you've been very busy, not just at FMI, but also I know you were the keynoter at the United Fresh Produce. That gets to the whole area of fresh foods, and FMI certainly has been doing a lot more in fresh foods. You've got the Fresh Council. What's that activity been like for FMI? Well,
the Fresh Council recognizes the fact that we sell more than dry groceries. And I think, again, Leslie and her team have listened to our retailers, our board members, and taken to heart the fact that we want to have FMI involved in more of the areas of the total grocery store. And that's not to say that we're thinking of that trade associations need to merge. What we're saying is we need to get more involved with each other so that all things are under one roof on an occasional basis. And so this Fresh Council is really beginning to identify the challenges that our retailers have in fresh, and then working with the FMI group to try to coordinate the efforts between us and other trade associations. Our job at FMI is to educate our retailers, not to be all things to our retailers, but help educate them. So if we can be a resource for getting multiple organizations together to educate our retailers, we've done our job, right, without trying to be all things to all people.
And I would think it signals the efforts to help break down the walls in the supermarket and help a little bit more, not having just the aisles, but more of a co-sharing of fresh and center store and co-locating and things like
exactly.
that. Exactly. Question about a very important area for FMI, which is regulatory affairs. Certainly this year, as any year, there's areas of focus. What are some of the areas of focus this year?
Well, we just came back from a fly into Washington, D.C., where many of our retailers attended. And there's a lot of focus today on menu labeling, on cool, on healthcare reform, on swipe reform. And there's no better way for us to put our case in front of our legislators than to show up and be a part of that. I think our folks did a great job of being there. We put an awful lot of emphasis on that with our board, the need to reinforce what our already first-class team does at FMI and communicating with our legislators, but they want to hear it not only from staff, but from us. So we've made progress. I think we were all disappointed with the swipe fee reforms and how they came about. FMI has redoubled its efforts trying to get some of those actions corrected, but we have a long road ahead of us.
Well, trying to make progress in an election year is always a challenge, but I could see that there was a lot of efforts there, so that's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Fred, and I'll let you get back to your busy schedule. Glad everyone can join us here, FMI 2012 in Dallas. Please join us for all of the videos, the Total Access videos we're doing here. And thank you again for being part of this at this very energetic show.
FMI Total Access is brought to you in part by 1010 Data, enabling item-level insights using a big data analytical solution.